welcome back. RETEKESS V115P, and that's the important part. The 115 RETEKESS Shortwave Radio, it's been out a number of years now. I did review it. It's right at the bottom end of the keypad digital entry shortwave radios. I think it's still on sale, and I think it sells for about £19. Occasionally you'll see the original version down to about £15 in a sale. And if you do see that, I would say get it. I would say it's a good little radio. This is the later version. We have a new, easier to use interface, apparently. Slight price increase. As I'm making this video, RETEKESS are charging £24, so it's gone up about £5. But it still has the all-important features of the original radio. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I appreciate that. So we've got FM, medium wave, long wave, and of course broadcast shortwave on AM, and also an MP3 player, and the important line-in function. This is quite unique to this radio. It does have a line-in socket, so you can connect this to an outside source, be it a ham radio, CB radio, and you can record straight onto the SD card in MP3 format. Quite unique. All that for about £24. So yeah, I think they've sort of kept the price probably about right. Let's get it on the bench and have a look at it. Let's have a quick look around this RETEKESS V115P. I think the first thing you have to say is that it looks a lot more expensive than it really is. I mean, bearing in mind this is a £15 radio, the way the buttons were all laid out, it looks almost like a sort of 90s Sony, in my opinion. It certainly doesn't look like a cheap radio. When we switch on the power here, we've got a basic kind of graphical menu system, if you like. So obviously the first one there is your radio. Then we have the Bluetooth settings, because you can use this as a Bluetooth phone speaker. Also has a microphone, so you can take calls if you wish. Next is the music function. This is for the MP3 player, and I have just got a little SD card there, a little TF card. So we'll try that in just a second, but that will be all the menu system for that. And then you've got the settings itself. I think we would press enter. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty basic, actually, to be fair. There's nothing too complicated about this, but I did notice when I looked through this earlier that it does have a setting for the input on the line in. You've got 3 different settings for line level, and that might be quite interesting as well. But yeah, I mean, very basic, but really that's really all you need. Looking around the radio itself, numerical keypad, so you can easily enter your radio frequencies. Small speaker, it does go quite loud, and it is rather clear. This side of the radio is quite hard to focus, isn't it? But USB-C for charging, a TF card for MP3 player, the line input there, which I think is going to be quite interesting to a lot of people, and then a stereo headphone jack, and it does sound quite nice on FM. Moving around to the back of the radio. Now the battery's interesting because it's a Nokia type. I think it's a BLC 10C. You're probably not going to replace it at this cost of the radio, but if, for example, you were thinking of taking us on holiday, you can get lots of those batteries on Amazon and eBay. You can pick up 2 for about £6 or £7. So yeah, no problem there. Has a little reflex port, which is quite amazing. This is a bass reflex port. There's a passive little plastic cone in there. You can just about see it. I mean, really, this doesn't produce that much bass, but it's nice that it's included. And then an on-off switch, which originally I thought was for the radio, but in actual fact, it's just for the flashlight. And I'm going to say, for a cheap radio, it's actually a very, very bright flashlight. Brighter than you would expect. Certainly enough to see your way to your car or something, or if you were camping. Certainly usable. Then we've got the antenna itself. I'm going to say I'm a little disappointed with the antenna. Firstly, the length. I think it's about 60 centimetres. So, yeah, it's plenty long enough. And it does swivel, which is important. However, they have missed out on opportunity here, because we have this little plastic whatever you call it, plastic piece on the wrist lanyard, and that fits into this aperture hole here. It's quite stiff really, and that allows for the radio to sit on a bench, which is good. But although the antenna swivels, it needs a little cutout on the case here because it won't go upright. See, that's as high as it goes. So you can't have it upright if you're going to sit on the bench and tune the radio. And I think that's a bit of a disappointment, to be perfectly honest. Bit of a design fault. And then finally, on top of the radio, we do have an antenna input. I'm going to say that's probably a 3.5mm mono jack. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're in a very quiet location, you'd probably be okay to run a long wire from this. I found in the past that these cheaper radios, they don't benefit from that. I get a lot of cross mode from my strong AM broadcast station just down the road at Brooklands Park. So for me, I'll just be testing. I should think I'll try it, but I'll be testing using the telescopic whip antenna. I think that will probably be a bit too much for the radio. Anyway, let's take the microphone closer to the radio. Let's plug in this little TF card and let's hear what this standard tiny little speaker sounds like. Now, on a previous version of the 115 that I tested eons ago, when you put the SD card in, little mini TF card, it started up the MP3 player straight away. So I'm hoping this one does the same. It's a little fiddly. There we go. Sounds right. There's a little bit of bass, not much. One thing I've noticed, you have to press the buttons twice to get the function to work, which is a little bit odd. You get used to it. So yeah, that sounded okay really. I mean, it's nice and clear. There's a tiny little bit of bass. You can feel a bit of resonance from that back passive speaker. It's amazing that works at all. But yeah, a very nice clear sound actually. No criticisms at all at this price point for the sound. Right, let's get the microphone near my mouth. So what we need to do now is we'll take it outside in the garden and let's test all of the modes and see what the radio sounds like.
Hertfordshire's Mix 92.6.
Ever reconcile? Do they ever get together at Christmas and go, oh, I'm sorry, I love you really?
Unfortunately not. There isn't a happy ending here. John gradually gives up control of the sound.
Austin and Dasher playing for you on Capital. How you doing? It's Ant playing with you this afternoon. But look who's here.
Party member. Why didn't I ask more questions about that? Are we prepared for horrors?
But to be honest, well, yeah, I mean, before they actually got into power...
Gotta keep moving on, fly away.
The Lionesses back in England after winning the Euros has meant that we haven't been able to do everything we might have done on the show today. Lionesses now lining up for a team, one last team photo.
How do you see us? How well set are we for 2027?
I think we're really well set, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't see many changes. I really don't. I think it's going to be interesting with
القديمة هذا الاستخدام وحافظت عليه على الأقل حتى القرن السابع عشر.
2 decades ago, because it just cost you too much time on the road. So this is also another very important reason. Yeah. May I jump in?
Yes, please.
La suite de la dynastie Han. Elle a ensuite été la capitale de Wu pendant la période de...
Go then. Do you know, I mean, overall, it's a decent little radio for less than £25. I will try and test that MP3 input and connect it up to a CB radio at some point. It's just so typical that I've had this in for a few days and there's been no skip, no foreign DX stations coming in, and that's really what I want to try and record. So look out for a future video at some point in the future. We'll come back to it. Criticisms, not really too many at less than £25. I would have liked to have seen a 1 kilohertz step rate for the tuning. Yeah, you're going to use this mostly on, you know, just scanning and tuning on the shortwave, pick up your big shortwave radio stations, get the news and whatnot. But again, once you've found it, if you're getting interference, sometimes just jumping up one kilohertz, that can help. Unfortunately, it is 5 kilohertz. And then the only other criticism really is the way the antenna swivels at the base. I'd hope they'd fix this on the revised update. There's no cutout, as I mentioned on the video. And again, so when you're resting this on its stand on a desk, you can't get the antenna upright, and that restricts how you use the radio. It's not a big thing, but it's a little bit annoying that they didn't fix it. But there are some positives, of course, and it sounds very, very nice. Little tiny bit of bass as well with that little back port. It does work. It's not a boombox or anything. And of course, you've got the antenna input. A little bit pointless for me because I get a lot of AM bleed over. These cheaper radios can't cope with it. But if you're in America or in Canada and you struggle to get European shortwave, like I know you do, again, the antenna input, stretch out a long wire, and you know, in a quiet environment, you should be absolutely fine. So yeah, there it is. It's a decent little radio, I think. It's not your best shortwave radio. It's a second radio, something you're going to have maybe in the glove box of your car, take it to work. You haven't got to worry too much about it because it's not expensive. So that's it. Link for this is in the description. I don't get a discount code, unfortunately, from RETEKESS, but so the price is what the price is. And there we go. Thumbs up from Fred in the Shed if you get a second. It just takes a second. Just hit me a thumbs up down below. I do like to see it, and then I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm on the right track. But that's it. As always, thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate your view time. I don't get that many views per video, so you're always welcome on Fred in the Shed. Take care. Look after each other. Stay safe. Catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Fred's in the shed where the magic unfolds. Fred in the shed with his trusty CB.